Mr. Krishna, I think he's here with us. London's finest. How you doing, mate?
Hello, hi, hi Terry.
Hi, how you doing? You good? Good. What are you here to speak about, my friend?
Yeah, I'm a Tottenham fan actually, and yeah, I wanted to talk a little bit about maybe the Spurs signings lately, and but which are nothing much, which is nothing much basically. But the only thing that has come out of Spurs so far is that Timo Werner, we have re-signed him on loan again for another
Wow.
year, and I am pretty unhappy with that particular one because we need to be doing better than that. Especially given that we were poor at for the entire season in our wide areas like compared to the last few seasons, we were not there, and especially with players like Brennan Johnson and Timo Werner, it's definitely not the kind of standards that we should be going for, and I am absolutely annoyed with that one. But I would love to see where we are going forward with this. Like this could be like one of those where you just re-sign him on a loan, but I would like to see now what ahead now for this club moving forward. Are we going to now sign any players on top of this, or is this now just a stopgap signing where we just stop? So that would be interesting to see, I think, for the rest of the season. But I would be pretty. I think that the priority for Spurs right now should be the number six and not the wide attacking players first. Wide attacking players can come in much later, but I think we definitely need to sort out that number six because we conceded loss of goals without that defensive mid there because Bissouma entering the job, and yeah, it's a bit of a problem there.
Yeah, look, you guys definitely need to. I mean, the Werner signing, I think in isolation looks weird because of he was average and he is average. I think it depends on who else you bring in. In terms of some of the deals that have actually picking up a bit of pace, when it comes to Arsenal, you're a rival of theirs. Osimhen, Sesko, which of the two do you think they should go for?
Oh, it's like that's a very tricky one. I would say that Sesko, if you watch him, he has been an upcoming striker and he has been doing really good. Whereas Osimhen, I think he had a previous season for where Napoli won the league. He was absolutely fantastic. The last season wasn't great, but you can tell that he is that sort of a class player who, when he's not in his form, he can definitely score goals. And I think a team like Arsenal, he can definitely be rocking it. So I would definitely not want him to go to either Chelsea or Arsenal. It would be interesting to see. But I think Sesko would be a decent signing for Arsenal, sort of that particular setup. So, and that is an area that definitely, if they improve in that particular scale, like Arsenal may be slightly unstoppable for next season. And I think next season we may see even Arsenal going for the league with even more ambition. But this question is a very tricky one actually. But I would say maybe Sesko.
Yeah. I hear that. Listen, top man, thank you for calling in, and we'll speak again soon. Thank you, bro. All the best, top man. I actually clicked on his profile, and then it showed me somebody else's. Next on the show, Mans is here, London's finest. He's a gooner. What you saying, mate?
Hi, how are you, Terry?
I'm very well.
First of all,
I'm very well. Thank you.
Big fan of your channel. My second time on here. I'd like to speak. I'm an Arsenal fan, so obviously a lot of rumors going on about Benjamin Sesko. Almost looks like it's done. The amount of times it's been brought up. I've been an Osimhen fan for quite a long time now. I think people are sleeping on him because of his form in the past season, but I think context is very important as well. Napoli has sacked Spalletti, hired a very, very, very average manager, and then replaced him with another average manager who was even worse. So I think in terms of management, I think that explains a lot why Kvaratskhelia and Osimhen weren't performing the way they were the season before. But I think if you get him into the right football club, into the right management, right structure, I think he'll start performing again. So personally, I think if we signed somebody like a Victor Osimhen, that is more of a guarantee than Benjamin Sesko. That being said, I have not watched Sesko as much as I watched Osimhen, but every time I did see Sesko, especially last season, the stats are good, but it's extremely frustrating the amount of sitters he misses. He has a bit of that reputation where he misses sitters. At least, in the games against Real Madrid, some Bundesliga games I've seen, I wouldn't call him clinical just yet. And I think Osimhen is more of a guaranteed kind of deal in that. That's for striker.
Yeah, I get that. In terms of the money, how would you feel if Arsenal were to drop 130 million? I think it's euros to be fair, but 130 million euros on him. Would you say that represents sort of a good investment from your perspective as a fan?
Yeah, 100%. 100%, because as much as good strikers, first of all, good strikers these days cost this kind of money anyway. So I don't think if we're trying to buy a guaranteed striker that's going to take us over the line to win the league, then that is going to cost at least 100 million. Isak is going to cost 100 million. Anybody else we'll look at will cost that money. I know Sesko is 45. I think he's got a release clause, but yeah, no, I think that's a good deal, and I do think we have that money as well, because especially because of the players we're looking to sell. I think Emil Smith Rowe they're looking to sell. I think Thomas Partey is leaving, so that frees up the wage. I think plus sales and the amount of money that Arteta is likely to get from the board, I don't think 130 is really going to, especially in euros as well. I don't think that's it's going to be a big deal.
I think it depends on who else you want to sign and what you're going to do. But as I say, my only issue with Osimhen, I'm a bit like yourself. I'm someone that's been a fan of his. It's just the lack of interest in him from other top clubs. It's always been a bit of a red flag to me. If you get around,
aren't they?
They've said they are, and now they're sort of not. They've put it down to his age, but then they're just about to sign two 26-year-olds. So I don't quite know. It might be Chelsea saying we're pulling away because the player has indicated that he doesn't want to go there. So we have seen that as well. But yeah, I'm intrigued by what's going to happen with this deal, mate. But listen, man, top bloke for calling in and giving us your views and your opinions, and we'll chat again soon. Make sure you call back in, bro. Top man, thank you. Cali Guna is on with us next. What are you saying?
Hey Terry, how you doing?
I'm very, very well. How about yourself?
I'm an Arsenal fan, obviously, and I just wanted to talk a little bit about what everyone's saying about Sesko and all the other strikers that we have possibly coming in.
Go for it.
One of the things I don't like is how Arsenal fans constantly kind of like second guess everything about what Arteta and Edu are trying to do. The perfect example is last year we brought in Havertz, and even I myself questioned what the thinking there was. And at the end of the season, we all saw that he came good. Mm-hmm. Now everyone's questioning, why would we bring in a younger striker, someone that's more of a project, so to speak? I don't get it. I really don't get it. People should have faith in Edu and Arteta. They have not steered us wrong yet. I mean, there have been some transfers they've made that weren't great, but for the most part, you look at it, the majority of the time, they've been right. So I just don't get it.
Listen, I totally understand that train of thought. I think it's okay to question, but I think it's when people start throwing their toys out there, Pram. It's okay. Some of your signings haven't worked. Lokonga hasn't worked out, and Fabio Vieira hasn't worked out, and a few others. But part of the reason why some of those guys haven't worked out is because of who's been ahead of them. And getting that regular game time and the consistency of certain individuals. But no one has a perfect hit rate when it comes to transfers, not even the greatest managers of all time.
Look at City.
Invariably, your expensive signings have worked. So and you're also now adding players to a well-oiled machine as opposed to a project. So it's a different type of recruitment. So I do agree with you. I think with the job that you guys have done internally when it comes to recruitment over the past 3 to 4 years, I don't get the meltdown some Arsenal fans have. That strikes me as strange. I agree.
And like you always say, it's better to just keep cool, be calm, wait and see. It's always better to just relax, see what happens. And then later, if things don't work out that well, yeah, I'm not about not criticizing. You can be critical of the way your team progresses and the things they do. I'm not against that. I'm not saying people should just shut up and be, all for, yeah, let's go. We're all good. No, I'm not saying that. But at the same time, you got to relax, take your time and see what happens.
Couldn't agree with you more, especially certain clubs. I understand every club's in a different situation, but where Arsenal are now, I don't see any reasons for meltdowns.
Yeah, we just immediately panic. We're Such an overreactive fan base. It's ridiculous to me. Sometimes I want to bash my head against the wall.
Well, don't do that, my friend. But look, I appreciate you coming on and having your say. Top man. And we'll speak again soon.
Terry. Appreciate
Thank you, bro. Thank you very much indeed. Lee Lynn here says, Terry, Arsenal should go get Bruno Fernandes. I mean, in an ideal world, yes, because the amount of chances he would create for you would be ridiculous. But he ain't going Arsenal, in my opinion. Jimmy here says, Simon Phillips. I know Simon's a good guy. Has some top sources at Chelsea, and they are feeling very confident on Sesko and Elise. Worth noting, Arsenal rarely beat them to transfers. I think when it comes to Chelsea, publicly some Arsenal fans might say no chance, no chance, no chance. I think Arsenal fans deep down inside, the same as Man United fans know, when Chelsea want players in the last 20 years, it feels like they invariably get them. So if they are feeling confident, they'll pay the money. They'll get the structures done. They'll pay above buyout clauses if they have to, Todd Bowley and Clearlake. So I wouldn't be surprised, Jimmy. I wouldn't. If it announced tomorrow that those two deals were done and Chelsea have got them, would I be sitting there thinking, oh, my God, I never saw this happening? Not a chance. I think we need competition for Saka in addition to 2 central midfielders, a striker and a number 2 goalkeeper. Kudus, Elise, Xavi Simons, or Kupo and Terry will give you Nketiah, Sivchenko, Lokonga, Tavares, and 50 million for Mainu. But that's nowhere near enough. Genuinely, nowhere near enough. I would want at least another 350 to 400 million pounds. I genuinely think I rate Mainu that highly. And do you know what I'm basing it on? I'm basing it on my theory of how expensive some of the best players in the world will be in 5, 6, 7 years' time, because TV money is going to keep going up. But there we go. Who am I going to next on here? Matt, what are you saying, Matty boy? I didn't see you there. Hello. You're on mute, brother.
Are you all right, Terry?
I'm good. What are you here to say, mate?
Yeah, no. Obviously, Arsenal news. On Sesko, I kind of feel like that if it did come down to Arsenal and Chelsea, I would be very confident. With Elise, I think it's clear that he would choose Chelsea over us.
Why are you confident that if you and Chelsea go head to head for Sesko, that Arsenal will get him?
Because I just feel that we can, show him that we have a better project, that we are more sustainable, and that we're kind of moving in the right direction, whereas Chelsea are slowly going up and down. With Victor Osimhen, I don't understand why Arsenal fans are, appealing to him, because, as you said, top clubs are just not interested in him, and I think that kind of says a big thing. Obviously about his price, it's sky high, 130 million, and then that's not even getting into his wages that he wants about 350k. So I kind of think that the money is just too steep. I wouldn't be surprised if Chelsea do actually do that deal. I know they said that they can't do it yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if they do actually try and do a deal for Victor Osimhen. But I'm very confident about Sesko.
Yeah, listen, I think you should be. All right, now I haven't actually read those, what Jimmy put in. I haven't read the links to Chelsea. I haven't seen any updates from Simon in relation to that. I haven't actually looked at his account today, but I will go and take a look, because when Chelsea are confident on signings, they invariably get them done. What's your take on what Caliguna said before you about Arsenal fans online frustrating him because they're just so negative all the time about your transfer activity?
Yeah, I don't really understand that either. I think people are just getting sick of the young project, and I can understand that to a degree, but with Arteta at the helm, he's proved that he can develop these young players and can make them work the majority of the time. For Fabio Vieira, like you said, he's competing with Odegaard, who's the captain. It's kind of a mismatch there. I can't remember another part, Sambi Lokonga. He hasn't developed as well as I would have hoped he would. Like in that, I think it was the 2021 season. He got a decent run of games, and then suddenly, like he just sat bench for pretty much the most of the season. So I personally don't think he is good enough for Arsenal, and I think we kind of made a mistake there. Hopefully, he gets signed to Bayern Munich, and Vincent Kompany can, unlock his Yaya Toure potential that he claimed that he can get out of him. But yeah, no, I don't really understand the negativity of transfer business. Like it really confuses me.
I hear you, Matt. Always a pleasure to speak, mate. Thank you for calling in, mate. And we'll speak again soon. Top man. Akil here says, I think the most important position for us to improve is the goalkeeping department. We want to get quality goalkeeper because it's always building from the back. And I think Perisic is average. I think he started really well. You started to see real big cracks appearing him the longer the season went on. I know there's still a lot of people backstage, but I have run out of time.